Hello, Pisces. Welcome to your June 15th through June 30th, 2021 reading. Be sure to check out your sun, moon, and rising signs to get a more well-rounded reading. All right, let's go ahead and begin. We have the High Priestess to start out. Oh, this just screams intuition to me. I really feel like there is, I feel like you're coming upon new connections of intuition. There's a sharp newness to this. So I'm not sure if you're just new to tapping into your intuition or if you have experienced a burst of fresh connections, but there's definitely some intuitive sparks that are going on as far as connecting to the other side, connecting to the Akashic records, connecting to information that is beyond the physical, tangible realm. And this feels very personal, so it's not so much you're connecting into intuitive stuff for other people. This feels very personal. Now, if you are someone who is experiencing that from a job perspective, that's fine. I'm not going to discredit or disvalue that at all. However, this feels very, very much with people who are really kind of experiencing an opening for messages for themselves as far as guiding and being intuitively directing personal choices. So, always feeling like you just know one step ahead before things experience in the tangible physical realm. So connecting with knowing events before they're happening, knowing the choice before you have to make it, knowing the crossroads before you come upon them sort of experience. But it's all personally related, somewhat job related, and very heavily job related, actually. So it's one of those things where you think of, oh, I wonder if this opening is going to happen. And then 3 days later, someone lets you know that opening is happening. Or you think, oh, I think someone's going to quit, even though there were no actual physical signs. And suddenly you find out that person has put in their resignation. Those sorts of experiences. And like I said, this feels very job oriented, not so much for you as a job, as an intuitive person, but you in the workplace, just getting intuitive hits and how it impacts you directly. So going back to that perspective of you thinking about, I wonder if so-and-so is going to quit, even though there was no tangible evidence for you to have come to that conclusion. There were no patterns for you to come to that conclusion. But as a result of thinking that, you were already in your head sort of planning your resume for that particular position. And so when you find out about it, you're actually ready to move forward more than other people around you are. So you're really getting some intuitive hits that's directing you before you need them. You're getting the intuitive hits one step before you actually need them. So that's what I'm getting from that card. This is something that you're experiencing now. And I really do feel like this is something that's going to continue. This is not a one-time thing. This is not just an occurrence that's going to happen for like a couple of days or a week. This is sort of the beginning for a little bit. This is going to be something that's going to flow through the rest of the month. And I feel like possibly even a couple of months. This is going to be something that you are going to ride. And it's all for your benefit. It's all for positive changes that you can be sort of the initiative of for. We have the Three of Swords. I feel like this is not intimately connected with this High Priestess, although some of you it can be, but the mass of you, because these are generalized readings, obviously. So there are a few that might kind of be on the outskirts of what I say is for the general portion. But for the general portion of you, there's an experience of facing some hard truths that just feels like it's disconnected to this. And I think the thing that's going to be the hardest about this is that because of these intuitive hits, this catches you by surprise because you didn't get an intuitive hit by this. So you've been experiencing and knowing, and it's kind of kept you one step ahead time and time again with some things and events that have occurred around you, not so much to you, but around you. And this particular thing, whatever this is, it's going to cause a bit of a heartache. It's going to hit you a little bit harder because this personally affects you, but you didn't get an intuitive hit. So there's going to be, I feel like there's going to be a bit of resentment towards your intuition as a result of this, because these things didn't happen to you and you knew them. You were one step ahead, and this thing did happen to you and you didn't get any any foresight at all, with the exception of this reading if you're watching this reading before these events occur. So if this is you, whether you have already experienced this and this is validation, or you've been experiencing this card and this hasn't happened yet, this is sort of a bit of an intuitive hit that, hey, by the way, there's going to be some circumstances or events that's going to happen. It feels like it's family related, or someone who feels like their family. It's someone who's close to you, someone that you feel very close to your heart. There's going to be an event or situation or experience that you're going to go through that's going to cause a bit of a heartache as a result of it. So, and because of it, there's an overall sense of feeling very kind of down, sort of blue as a result of it. So that's just sort of a heads up. Okay, so we have the Magician, and you're getting kind of a disconjointed message here. So some of these are woven. I mean, obviously 12 o'clock noon on Tuesday is not connected to 12 o'clock noon on Wednesday, but they're still woven together as far as the process of time and experience in your life where you are. So this feels a bit disconnected or disjointed, but take this however you will. We have the Magician card. Through all of this, where I get the overall sense that you're going to be really growing in the sense of your personal abilities. And generally my go-to is to talk about this first card as far as how you can connect on an intuitive level and how you can use this connection to guide you with future choices as far as kind of maybe getting promotions or, you know, buying a car, making the decision on buying a car, making the decision on buying a house as far as location and what you desire, you know, that sorts of thing. But I feel like this is more a skill set as far as work is concerned. So it can apply to the spiritual aspect and the intuitive guidance that you can tap into for knowing that you're going the right direction and choosing the right things, even when it comes to things like buying a car or buying a house. But this feels very much job related. So I feel like through all of this, also along with that, you are going to be experiencing some personal revelations regarding your skill set, regarding your work capacity, regarding what you feel you can bring to the workforce or to your field, whatever it is. So you're just going to kind of experience a boost. And if you're not experiencing it, this is a reminder of your capabilities to remember who you are and where you've come from as far as what you have to offer in the workplace, whatever it is whatever field that you work in, it doesn't matter. This applies to you. So there's an opportunity for revelation as far as personal ability and your skill set, what you're capable of. You're not giving yourself credit, and you're going to either need to look at yourself closer so you can give yourself credit, or you're going to come into recognizing this. And because of that, you're going to be able to, I keep thinking about a job resume. So I don't know how much this applies, but this is the second time in this reading I've mentioned putting together a resume, and that's coming up again as far as putting together a resume and really making it sound boastful, because you have rights to bragging about your skill set. You have rights to bragging about what it is that you're capable of and what it is that you're able to present within your field, however or wherever you're working looks like. So ultimately, yeah, kind of promotion comes to mind, and like I said, resume is something that comes up. And resumes it doesn't have to be a physical, tangible resume. Sometimes you can just have that mental resume of knowing what it is that you're capable of and doing, so that you can read over it and be able to pat yourself on the back. But there's a bit of revelation that's available to you as you move towards the end of the month, and how that unfolds and where that leads is up to you. We have the Two of Cups, and this is really talking about relationships. Now this I feel like is probably a bit smaller selection of you who are viewing this video, but I'm being told that there are some of you who have been connecting with someone, and it's just on the beginning aspects of connection. And this is kind of letting you know that that has the potential of going somewhere more intimate and becoming something deeper. And for the bulk of you, this is something that you've been wondering, but there is even smaller selection of you, and you know who I'm talking to, that you're kind of playing with fire. And if this applies to you, if you are already in a relationship and you have been kind of connecting with someone, you're being told you're playing with fire. So that's a twofold message for some of you, for all of you who this applies. There is an intimate chemistry happening with somebody you're connecting with, and that chemistry is really kind of swirling and surrounding you and really building up. And for those of you who this applies to, you're just being told. But there's a select few of you who this also applies to, but you are already committed to somebody, and you're being told you're playing with fire, and you're being told to be careful. Be careful how you're playing, because you might get burned. And that's the message. That's what I'm being told. You're being told. So take that, how that resonates, and how it doesn't, just leave it. We have the Seven of Cups. Opportunity. I feel like as much as all of these seem to be disconnected, ultimately, there's an underlying theme that connects them all, and that has to do with opportunity. Again, I have spoken more than once regarding promotion and resume, so this feels very heavily as far as opportunity in the workforce or in your field, in your career, and what that means to you. But there are a select few of you who this also applies to in regards to just connections, your spiritual, intuitive connection. But opportunities are on the horizon. Don't get overwhelmed. Don't let yourself get drowned by them. Still, live your life. Still take the steps that you do on a regular daily basis. Keep with your routine. Don't make any sudden, extremely chaotic, disruptive moves. Just, take one step at a time. So you don't get overwhelmed, but you're going to start feeling like you see those opportunities, and there's a potential for feeling overwhelmed. So the guidance with that is, don't let yourself get overwhelmed. So focus on one step at a time. Focus on every aspect of your life as it unfolds in front of you. Don't get too focused on the horizon when there's tons of stuff sitting right in front of you that needs to be done. So it's sort of like, don't get focused on the laundry in the washer that you have to fold. Just focus on the dry laundry in the basket in front of you to fold that, if that makes sense. So that's the sort of message that you're getting. The whole don't count the chickens before they hatch sort of scenario. That's what you're getting told. So keep that in mind so you don't get overwhelmed. Perspective is coming up for you. I believe this is so you don't lose your perspective. This is sort of continuing that message regarding the Seven of Cups and how it means opportunity. Make sure that you don't lose your perspective. Keep each thing that comes before you one stepping stone at a time. Don't get focused on everything. Don't look at everything all at once. The other scenario would be, don't be looking at the dessert tray when you haven't taken the first bite of supper that's in front of you. Those sorts of scenarios, analogies keep coming up. So keep your perspective in what's in front of you. You can be aware of the potential. You can be aware of what's in the horizon. You can be aware of what is available to you, but make sure you keep your perspective accordingly. Keep your focus at the stepping stone in front of you so that you can take that step. And then when the next one comes up, you take that step. And then the next one, you take that step. So be encouraged by what's in the horizon, but don't get so focused on what's in the horizon that you miss a step or you miss a stepping stone, if that makes sense. So one step at a time, pushing yourself forward, pulling yourself forward. Keep your perspective accordingly. That keeps you from being overwhelmed, but allows you to be focused enough to take one step at a time. But action is definitely the key. You do want to be taking that next step as it presents itself. Take the next step when it comes up, and then once that's fulfilled, take the next step. And then once that's fulfilled, take the next step. And once that's fulfilled, take the next step. So this is your approach. You want to keep moving, but you want your movement to be in accordance with the surrounding energy. Don't run before you're supposed to. Keep the pace that is being set before you, and you're being guided to go through. And that's when the High Priestess guidance comes in as far as the intuitive. You're going to be told when you're supposed to be taking a step. Don't try to move before you're being guided to, but just be ready to move when you're being told to move. When I'm in alignment with the love of the universe, peace cannot be disrupted. So stay in alignment to what you're intuitively being told. Stay in alignment to what you're being guided by your source of guidance. Stay in alignment with that and stay in alignment with your higher self. You'll always be able, even when there are moments of disruption and chaos that are around you, you can still feel that inner peace no matter how things are around you. If you are in alignment with your higher self and your higher goals and the end results that you want, and you are following that guidance that you've received, you can still experience peace during moments of chaos and disruption. You don't have to be experiencing the disruption, even though it is occurring, even though you can be validated that you are experiencing chaos and disruption. It doesn't mean that you have to be in, and that is the only thing that you're experiencing. You can still experience peace while you're going through that situation. That's the message that you're experiencing. So just go ahead and make sure that you are in alignment to your guidance, stay connected accordingly, and that way you can stay connected with that inner peace while you're going through this, any sort of chaotic, disruptive times. All right, that is all I have for you. Be sure to make sure you check out your rising, moon, and sun sign to get a more well-rounded reading. I do offer personal individualized readings. It's in the link box below, so go ahead and check that out if you are interested in one. Other than that, I hope the rest of June proves to be wonderful, and hopefully I will see you in a future video.